Hello everybody, welcome to this first analysis video. It's usual to focus on images, that's why I'd like to offer you a slightly different perspective by paying attention to the sounds. So, to open this first meeting, I'm calling on my favorite captain, Mr. Keating from Dead Poets Society. In the first scene, a ceremony is being prepared. The bagpipe is brought out to celebrate the start of the school year at Welton. Marching in step, the bagpiper parades along with the banner schools for pillars, tradition, honor, discipline, and excellence. As the dean passes on the light of knowledge to the younger students, an organ adds to the solemnity of the event. So classes start punctuated by the Welton clock. A teacher distributes books while listing the amount of work he will assign them. Another one makes them repeat over and over Latin declensions. These teachers, adhering to the schools for pillars, move in circular patterns, not without recalling the incessant chimes of a clock. Indeed, the chemistry teacher makes a circuit around the classroom, passing among the students. The Latin teacher moves back and forth in front of the board, swinging almost like a metronome. And finally, the trigonometry teacher splits the rows like a second hand. Thus, the noise of time matches the rhythm of conventionality. But the literature teacher, Mr. John Keating, warns them about the dangers of conventionality. He suggests that they find their own rhythm. Unconsciously, they fall into step and clap their hands to the beat. The rhythm is ingrained, yet Keating offers them new perspectives. That's why, in the first shot, he's filmed in a counterclockwise panoramic, for it disrupts this well-oiled four-pillar clock. He, therefore, represents a threat to Welton's tradition. He is the fifth pillar that destabilizes everything else. As the clock strikes 5, each chime is accompanied by a flock of birds. At the first chime, their wings beat frantically over the lake. At the second, the croaks resonate above a field. At the third, a swarm approaches with the sound of chirping. At the fourth, it is answered by clucking. Then, at the fifth, the noise of wild geese blends with that of the students, reducing them to the state of barnyard, where the individual is forced to stay in line. Could the birds be a reference to Hitchcock's famous film? But who endangers the students, Keating or conformity? With a whistle that makes him sound like a bird, Keating encourages his students to follow him. So instead of staying quietly behind their desks, they start moving, and the movement is often circular and counterclockwise. Through this whistle, that also reintroduces the circle of Dead Poets Society, he calls them to deconstruct the mechanisms of Welton. During his classes, he often leaves silences and questions his students. He disrupts the traditional sound environment of a classroom by making them tear pages from a book, raise their voices to an opera tune. He seeks to their emancipation by a sonic movement. He inspires them by whistling, whispering, imitating, shouting, singing, and provoking their laughter. His classes reflect life, whereas those of his colleagues reflect alienation, both in sound and movement. From this inspiring breath, each poet draws his own melody. The main aria, played on the harp for the sentimental Knox and Todd. A more mystical tune accompanies Neil, leader of the poets and actor in his own life. The lively rhythms of Pitts and Mix, inventors of a radio station and rappers of the circle. Finally, Dalton and his saxophone talents. From this musical current arises a rebellion against the in-style system and a recognition of the teacher who managed to touch them. Thus they remain loyal to Keating and rise at his passage to the sound of poets' music. As Todd initiates the movement, the bagpipes blend with the harp, Then percussion and wind instruments join in. From the ceremonial music of the beginning of the film, the melody remains, but the energy has completely changed. And in this way, the sound alone conveys the main idea promoted by Keating: change perspective in order to freely dream. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this video, it'd be great if you like or leave comments. I'd be glad to hear from what you think of this movie. So I see you next week. Bye bye.